So, ladies and gentlemen, I unfortunately believe I have found a bombshell. I'm not sure if anybody else has talked about this yet. The way I found this file was very strange. I was actually trying to look at racially charged terms that I had seen in other files. I'm not sure why it connects to this term. I'm not going to mention the term that I looked up, but it was because of another email regarding the snipe hunt, if you guys have heard of that one. Anyways, this file is dated 08/09/2019, and that is, I believe, let me take a look here. I believe that's the day before he died. So this document that I have just found is potentially, I'm sorry. I need to preface this with, I want to live. I love my fiance very much. I have found something that is going to shake the very foundation of our country. I do not mean to state the importance of that lightly whatsoever. All right. So it goes into the victim, goes into her background. This is, again, the day right before he is supposedly to have been unalived, 08/09/2019. This is when this was actually written down by the FBI. So at approximately 13 years of old age, her mother gave her a babysitting job. I'm just going to draw the conclusion here. Her mother basically sold her up because it says later in the document that she was worried about her mother's business. So her mother gave her to Jeffrey Epstein. That's happened multiple times. Let's not try to dispute that, because we know what happens in these documents. That happened with another person who was a college graduate and gave her own sister up and made sure that her Jeffrey Epstein knew her sister was going to be there. All right. She shows up for this babysitting job. Jeffrey Epstein gives her a bunch of substances. She performs acts for him, and then she lets him go. And the last thing she says is, oh, great, I found a guy who can give me and my friends substances. So she brings her and her friends over there. Now, later in the document, it says that she was still in a fog. She thought, my friends are going to love me. I found a guy with substances. Right here, she said she later viewed the image sent with her friend and her neighbor. Told me, that is the person who has caused me great harm and affected my entire life. He's a nightmare. He advised the photograph was still saved in her cell phone messages. Upon request by the agents, they accessed the image, and before she showed the picture to the interviewing agents, she was asked whether she could crop the photograph to include only the man she was referring to, essentially. So that means that she was trying to only put Jeffrey in the photograph. The agents said, hey, can we see the other people in the photograph? And this is what she said. She was cropping up, but one of the individuals included in the picture, she offhandedly mentioned the word president. This is dated when he was the president, right? While looking at the images on the cell phone, the agents asked whether she would be comfortable explaining why she wanted to crop the photograph. When she hesitated, her attorney advised her that she was concerned about implicating additional individuals, and specifically any that were well known due to fear of retaliation. So not only was our president, when he was the president, going to a party with J.E., with underage girls there to do abuse to them, right? They wanted to cover this shit up. And they're trying to tell you that he's not implicated directly at all. That he was never mentioned as being a person of interest in the ring of abusers, right? I'm here to tell you right now, I wasn't even looking up Trump's name when I found this. I was looking up something completely unrelated to him. And I have basically uncovered something right here that directly implicates the president in abusing minors, and not only the timeline directly lines up. If he's getting FBI interviews with him involved and Jeffrey Epstein the day before he's supposedly to have died, right? That's called asset extraction. The president at the time, he did not unalive Jeffrey Epstein. He extracted him from prison, and the roads kept being built. The roads for Zorro Ranch, the AI baby farm, the fact that Jeffrey Epstein is involved in every single level of your childhood for the last 30 years. You just have not made the connections yet, all right? On the school system alone, in public schools, I could probably mention about 4 or 5 different ways that they controlled your life directly. On top of the school system, I can talk about the microtransactions economy they made for kids. I could talk about the constant childhood memories, all of these cartoons you have and all this stuff connect back to the island, connect back to the blackmail ring, connect back to the whole entire shadow government. These people were telling you exactly what was going on in no uncertain terms your whole life. They were preparing you your whole life. Think about in the last 5 years the amount of television and movie and film that has normalized cannibalism and that has normalized child unalivement, because they were waiting for the day that this would show up on your doorstep and in your brain, and you would think, it's not a big deal, just gonna keep on going living my life, because they're gonna keep doing it. They're not gonna stop. They're not going to stop unless we give people like this accountability. This has nothing to do with party lines. Obama's attorney general was the one that gave him the slap on the wrist conviction that allowed him to continue doing this shit 12 hours a day outside of a federal fucking facility. And the other problem is that people keep thinking that, oh, blue versus red, blue versus red. Fuck your blue versus red. Every single administration in the last 40 years is involved with this shit, no matter what party line you're on. And the reason why they tell you the whole system will collapse is because it's connected to everything. It's connected to the films you watch, to everything you learned in school, to everything that you eat in your body, to all the medical knowledge you believe, to all the facts you believe about the world around you. This was all a fabrication. This was all a lie. I promise you, I'm not going insane. I'm not having a manic episode. I'm not having delusions of grandeur. I'm not schizophrenic. What is going on right now is insane. And you need to take a step back and analyze everything in your life and realize how it's all fake. It's all a lie. And you gotta wake up, because these files right here, they want you to continue to be docile cattle who don't fight back, who don't do anything. You need to do something.